Mana, with health officials now awaiting laboratory results and the police also pursuing forensic analysis, what more have you established about the circumstances surrounding these deaths?
So, talking about the issue of making sense of what the officials have said and with what is on the ground, people here are still grappling with what actually led to these deaths as a result of the contamination of the food, according to medical experts. And of course, there's just no reason, because earlier when I spoke with Mrs. Ihima, she made reference to the fact that she's not suspecting anyone. She doesn't have any chemicals in her home. So it's still a mystery to her as to why this happened. And just behind me, you can see that it's a bit less cold out here. Just moments ago, they went to bury the lady who died earlier today at the hospital in Kogi. So it's still much of a confusion as to what really happened. Just like the authorities have assured that more details will actually come out. But residents here still can't say verbatim what actually was the cause, whether chemicals or whether the food was poisoned.
The police have raised the possibility of a sinister move. Is there anything from your findings on ground that is perhaps giving investigators reason to suspect any deliberate poisoning, or are all of these possibilities still being examined?
Yeah, absolutely. When we had the briefing with the state epidemiologist from the State Ministry of Health, he said they were actually here. That was when we were at the hospital. They came here to do an examination. And if my cameraman can pan across the community, you can see that the surroundings are clean, the roads are fine, but of course the nature of the houses here, as some houses here are still archaic, so to speak. You have a few modern houses, and of course epidemiology, from my own little understanding, QSL has to do with the relationship the environment plays with our health. And from the panning, you can see everywhere here is clean. And of course, the nature of the water, that is another thing to also investigate regarding to how the environment here in Ihima plays a role as far as healthcare is concerned. But that was one of the factors with which he made his conclusions that we need to be careful of the chemicals that we have around us at home, because he made mention that this is not the first occurrence. There's been 3 occurrences recently regarding to food poisoning in Kogi State.
Mana, before we wrap up with this conversation, we are aware of one of the victims being buried this evening. Can you give us a sense of the atmosphere and, how the Ihima residents are dealing with the loss?
I sent in some visuals where there was a bit of tension just before they walked the corpse of the lady across a church just nearby here to bury her. The families of the jewelers are not just the only ones who lost their lives. Friends and family members were also part of the 9 persons, where 5 persons died. So we saw altercation whereby some family members, who were friends to this particular family, were raising their voices sort of, in anger and just trying to comprehend what happened. And the lady herself who prepared the meal, she's depressed from what we saw earlier. And, you host people into your home, you serve them food, and then for them to lose their life, it brings a whole lot of questions, distrust, and, sort of a tension. But they were able to resolve all of those conversations, and they proceeded to bury the lady. And just a few minutes before we came up live, they came back, and I think everyone is going about their normal businesses as they continue to mourn those who died. Back to you, Julian.
It's quite a sad incident there in Kogi State, and I'm hoping that those authorities will do all they need to do on time to get to the bottom of this, so we really understand exactly what happened. But thank you once again, Mana Balagbogbo, for bringing us up to speed as to what's been happening as regards this tragedy in Kogi State.